Durdle magic. Thank you for tuning in to Durdle Magic. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you like the content you see here today, and leave a like and share the video with someone you might think is interested. Leaving those likes really helps us out, but another way to help us out is by using our TCG Player affiliate link below. If you're looking for singles, sealed product, or gaming accessories, please consider using our link to support the channel. We also have some playmats at inkgaming.com. Go ahead and hit the link in the description to check those out. Alright, let's grab some spells and Durdle with some magic. Hello and welcome back to Durdle Magic. Today we're playing more Brudiclad Telchor Engineer. Looking at our opening hand, we do have 3 lands, but not too much to follow it up with. Don't know if we want to risk it. We do have Joyra, Weatherlight Captain for some card draw, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a second to think. Let's go ahead and risk keeping it. We get 3 mana. We can get to Impact Tremors, probably follow it up with something else. There's a lot of token making stuff in the deck. So let's go ahead and keep it, see where it goes. We do have 2 ways to draw cards so far. Unfortunately, it seems we are last in the turn order, so an island is coming down for our first opponent, who happens to be DePietro. DePietro? Help me out here, comments. 3 blue, black, black for legendary 4/3 human pirate. It has first strike. Not much else there. So, interesting to see what that's about. Hauled Fountain into play for our next opponent, who happens to be Zedruu the Great-Hearted. They will share the things with us, including the pain. And Light and Tutor coming on to the stack for them. Zedruu the Great-Hearted is a 1 blue, red, white, 2/4 legendary Minotaur Monk. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the number of permanents you own that your opponents control. Blue, red, white, target opponent gains control of target permanent you control. So, donate stuff, keep the board locked down, have people over just die to static effects or triggered effects. That seems to be what happens with that deck a lot. Savai Triome into play for our last opponent, who happens to be a partner pairing of Ravos and Tana the Bloodsower. We will cover them in a minute. It's going to come back to us. We get Tilani Summoner. That works for me. Let's go ahead and play Mountain, tap it down, and pass it off to our opponents. So our commander is Brudiclad Telchor Engineer, 4 blue-red for a legendary 4/4 artifact creature Artificer. Creature tokens you control have haste, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, you create a 2/1 blue mirror artifact creature token. Then you may choose a token you control, and if we do, each token we control becomes a copy of that token. Doesn't say till end of turn either. Drowned Catacombs into play for the Ramirez player. Gotta remember the name on that one. That's the first time I faced off against that deck. Over to Zedruu the Great-Hearted. Probably going to not give us the best stuff. Soul Ring into play for them. Island coming down as well. Are we going to see a early Ristic Study? Oh, it's a Fieldness Border Post. Okay, that's interesting. So they paid the alternate cost, which is you may pay 1 and return a basic land you control to its owner's hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. This earns the battlefield tapped. Tap to add blue or white. I actually had the full cycle of these. They're only allied colored in my Nimazet Jank deck, but they didn't work out. They're even too slow and too, how would I say? They ruined my tempo. So that was also pretty bad in that deck. Over to the partner player's turn. They play Legion's Landing. They'll get a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. Castle Lochlane coming down for them as well. So I'm imagining this is going to be a kind of like wide token deck. Speaking of, I don't think we covered that commander. So we'll take our turn real quick and then we'll cover the partner pair. Command Tower into play, second main, we'll just pass it off. So Ravos is a 3 white black human cleric, legendary of course. 2/2 with flying. Other creatures they control get 1/1. At the beginning of their upkeep, they may return a target creature card from the graveyard to their hand. And Tana the Bloodsower for 2 red green is a legendary 2/2 elf druid. Trample, whenever she deals combat damage to a player, they create that many 1/1 green sapling creature tokens. Both have partner of course. On Ramirez's turn, that's a Swamp and a Baleful Strix into play. Flying and Death Touch enters the battlefield, they draw a card. Over to Zedruu's turn. They could possibly have 5 mana this turn. It is only turn 3. Soul Rings will do that for you. So far we haven't seen a red source out of them though, so that should be... Oh, there it is. Sacred Foundry coming into play untapped. They take 2. Zedruu the Great-Hearted coming down for that player. Okay. Shenanigram starting next turn, I suppose. Over to the partner player. A High Market comes down for them. Sack a creature, gain a life, or tap to add colorless. They go to combat. Let's see if they go anywhere. Alright, nothing. to the end step. That means it's rolling over to us. We get Skull Clamp. That will be good later. I do also want another land for Joyra. That would be pretty nice. Let's go ahead and play Scavenger Grounds, and we will go ahead and play the Impact Tremors, because why not? Maybe bait out some removal, perhaps. Gotta keep Skull Clamp around. And then we'll play the Dragon Master Outcast, rather. Get 1 damage to each of our opponents, and bait out some extra removal there as well. Alright, that's it for us. Let's pass it off. Sunken Hollow into play for Ramirez. Gonti, Lord of Luxury, King of the Steels. Alright, let's see who they target with the effect. Oh, we have Withering Boon, a black counter spell, and an additional cost to cast the spell, rather pay 3 life. That's really good in Villas. I'm actually going to be running it in a future deck build, just basically because I want to. So for reference, that counter magic coming out of the partner player who has no blue. So that is interesting. Wonder if they're running things like Lapse of Certainty and Avoid Fate, although Avoid Fate is really bad. 2 Zedruu's turn, Zedruu will trigger, they get no bonus effect. Flood Strand into play for the Zedruu player, and they crack it. Let's go see what they get with it. Steam Vents into play for the Zedruu player. Alright, so the colored mana not hurting at all right now. Will it come into play untapped? Nope. Oh, Magus of the Tabernacle. All creatures have at the beginning of your upkeep sacrifice this creature unless you pay 1. Oh, that sucks so bad. We don't have enough tokens on the battlefield to mitigate that at all. At the end of turn, the partner player sacrifices their creature to gain 1 life. Rolls over to them. Oh, Westvale Abbey. That's going to be super bad later. Porphyros, God of the Forge coming down for them. That will be pretty good. Beats out our Impact Tremors, but as I explained before, I didn't want to put Porphyros in this deck. Comes to our turn, we will pay the 1 to keep the Dragon Master out for now. If we get Felwar Stone, that's going to be pretty good for us. Let's go ahead and play it. No land drop, unfortunately. I think next turn, Skull Clamp, get rid of the Dragon Master anyway and draw those cards because we're going to need them. Let's pass it off. Over to Ramirez. Baleful Strix will trigger because of the Magus, and I will stop saying that until it's destroyed or removed. They do pay the 1 though, so in retrospect I guess I can't stop saying it. It's one of those variable things. Nothing but an island into play for Ramirez this turn. Over to Zedruu, a number of triggers on the sack. Let's see if they'll pay to keep Zedruu into play as well. They are using the Soul Ring. I imagine they're paying for both. They did. Both creatures stay on the board. They are only at 4 mana now. Oop, there's the Yond. I was just about to say they can still drop a land. Let's see. Mystic Remora. Alright, that's a very good card. It is expensive, though, on Magic Online. It's very, very expensive. I don't know what it is in paper anymore. I do know it's gone up. Managed to nab one pretty early on, though. Humble Possession. They're going to steal some stuff. That's uncool, man. That's very uncool. So in case you're unfamiliar, Helm of Possession cost 4. You may choose not to untap it during your untap step. 2, tap, sacrifice a creature, gain control target creature for as long as this is under your control, and it remains tapped. So yeah, I wouldn't mind a Vandal Blast and a land drop. That'd be fine with me. Over to the partner player. At their hub coming down, they're going to get an energy. Shatter the Sky. Each player who controls a creature with power 4 or greater draws a card, then destroy all creatures. Alright, so it's removal. Also, I haven't ever seen anyone ever play that before. So that's some interesting implications. Nobody has anything, so Dragon Master Outcast is going to die, unfortunately, before we can Skull Clamp. That is a sad phase. Oh, we have a response out of Ramirez. Is it a counter spell? No, it's Minion's Return. Flash enchant creature. When it dies, return to the battlefield under your control. That's pretty good. They'll get to draw a card. I do love these flash type effects like that. I think, doesn't White have one that does something similar? I'm not sure. Alright, creatures are wiped out. Minions return triggers. Baleful Strix is back into play. Ramirez gets to draw a new card. Nice and shiny. Comes our turn, we get Mechanized Production. Enchant artifact we control. We make copies of it. What do I want to do with that, if anything? I think enchant the Felwar Stone at this point is probably our best option. Not best with our commander, but we need to get some mana going pretty badly here. And we just don't seem to be drawing lands this game. So let's go ahead and enchant our Felwar Stone and hope it doesn't get blown to hell. We cannot pay for their Mystic Remora. They will get to draw a card. Definitely a great card, especially if you can remove the counters. How I wish Tyam was able to remove counters from enchantments. Would have been the greatest Saga commander ever. But it's only creatures, unfortunately. Alright, that's it for us. Let's just go ahead, pass it off to our opponents. Hope Felwar Stone or the Mechanized Direction doesn't randomly get blown up. But we have mass removal out of the partner player. Could be looking down on a steer command. Or worse, a merciless eviction. Soul Ring coming down for the Ramirez player. Remora will trigger. They'll get a card. Ramirez to combat, first blood of the game. Well, that isn't self-inflicted. Goes off into the Zedruu player. Seems pretty good to me. Leave us alone. Nothing happening here on the lonely isle of no land drops. Damage is good. No possible responses. Let's see if Ramirez does anything in their second main. Jace, Architect of Thought coming down for the Ramirez player. Let's take a look. 2 blue for a legendary Planeswalker Jace. Enters with 4 loyalty. +1 until your next turn whenever a creature your opponent controls attacks, it gets -1/-0 till end of turn. -2, reveal top 3 cards of your library and opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put 1 pile into your hand and the other on the bottom of your library. Oh. Well, that's the ability being activated. Alright, so, again, the -2, reveal the top 3 cards of your library, and opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put 1 pile in your hand on the other of the bottom of your library in any order. -8, each player, search this player's library for a non-land card and exile it. That player shuffles the library, you may cast those cards without paying their mana cost. Not the strongest Jace ever, but I've used it on occasion. It's not terrible. Over to Zedruu's turn, Mr. Grimoire triggers for the cumulative upkeep, they pay it. Mountain into play for Zedruu. Basalt Monolith coming down for Zedruu. A combo piece extraordinaire. They do have red-white, could be Zerda. It could be Rings of Brighthearth. I mean, it could be tons of stuff. Confusion in the ranks. Crap. So, yeah, we'll cover that in a minute. I gotta focus my mind here. So, Confusion in the ranks is whenever an artifact, creature, or enchantment enters the battlefield, its controller chooses a target permanent another player controls that shares a card type with it and exchange control of those permanents. So, that's fun. Alright, so they get to steal yep, Pulveros. They get to steal an enchantment, I was about to say. That is unfortunate. Bazaar Trader. Oldie but a goodie. 1 red for a 1/1. Tap. Target player gains control target artifact, creature, or land you control. Pulveros triggers. It'll be doing some work. But what creature are they going to steal? I think, yeah, it's only the Baleful Strix at the moment. Unfortunately, being in the colors we can't deal with enchantments without a Chaos Orb. So that is problematic. Alright, we're on the partner's player turn. Nothing in the first main. Nothing on the attack, no creatures. Nothing at all during the second main, jeez. Okay. Unfortunately, they're probably going to have to deal with the enchantment unless Ramirez draws the Feed the Swarm card. If you haven't checked out my video on that, I'll link it up at the top here. Comes to our turn, Mechanized Production will trigger. We have Felwar Stone to play, which I really needed. But now we're going to trade it with somebody's stuff. Yep, there it is. Unfortunately, all the mana rocks used up are tapped at the moment. Why didn't it go? Okay, so the token coming into play didn't seem to trigger this. I wonder if that's just a weird ruling of some kind. I'm not entirely sure. So here's what I'm thinking. Tomio's Journal, it's going to come into play. We're going to switch it with somebody. I'm going to give it to the Ramirez player so they can get on the upkeep the trigger for the clue. Maybe they can draw some kind of answer. I would have given it to the partner player, but they don't have any artifacts I can trade with. Okay, again, I didn't get to switch. Hold on, let's reread this card. Confusion in the ranks. Whenever an artifact, creature, or enchantment enters the battlefield, its controller chooses target permanent another player controls and shares a card with the exchange control of those permanents. Okay, so that's interesting. It's not working anymore or something? Let me know in the comments if I'm missing something. I did ask the owner of the card why it doesn't seem to be working. I don't know. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding the card. Over to Ramirez's turn, Reflecting Pool into play. Again, not one of my favorite kinds of land, but if it works for you, go for it. Alright, looking at the chat over here. Apparently the card's bugged, so next turn Brudiclad and have fun with it. It seems pretty good. Ramirez on the attack again, into who? Zedruu again. Yeah, Zedruu decks tend to get that kind of hate for obvious reasons. Unfortunately, that also means we gotta get rid of Pulveros somehow. If it becomes a creature, we do have Reality Shift. I guess we could also Psych Rift it. Ooh! Ninjutsu, Silent Blade Oni. Confusion in the ranks will trigger. Let's see if it actually does anything this time. Nope, guess it's bugged out. Good. They wasted a turn playing it. Unfortunately for them, it would work in paper. So let's go ahead and take advantage of that. Silent Blade only connects. There was no block. That's why ninjutsu happens. When it deals combat damage to a player, look at that player's hand. You may cast this spell from among those cards without paying their mana cost. I had a feeling it was kind of a steely deck. What set did this come out in? Oh yeah, Plain Chase. I think it also got reprinted in... I don't know. I think it got reprinted once finally in recent history, but I forget what set it was in. Oh, Spectral Ward. Gets 2/2 protection from all colors. This effect doesn't remove auras. That is going to be such a giant pain in the butt. Mere Battlesphere go? Block for us, I guess. I mean, that's some pretty good evasion right there. Alright, I guess we just keep ignoring the triggers from confusion in the ranks. Yeah, a break we desperately needed. So, let's go ahead and play some stuff on our turn if things get back to it. Jace gets ticked up by 1. If anything attacks, it gets -1, -0 till next turn. Baleful Strix coming back down for that player. They'll draw a card. Over to Zedruu's turn. They'll have 6 cards in hand after the draw. They pay to keep Mystic Remore into play. Turn 7, by the way, I know on the videos, once I edit them, it's shorter. But it took a long time to get around to the second counter. I keep trying to hope it dies. Chromatic Lantern coming down for the Zedruu player. Alright. So, I wonder if that will... Okay, it doesn't give it to anybody. I was like, they can trade us. I want the mana. Alright, it looks like they're trying to steal something with the helm. I assume it's going to be the Oni, which is problematic. Zedruu sacrificing the Bazaar Trader to the Helm of Possession to take the Oni. Yep, and why is it just sitting over there? Sometimes Magic Online is just weird that way. It still has all the protections, but the enchantment's over here. Partner player's turn. We're already all the way through the turn once. Okay, I don't know why they're not playing anything. I guess they're just not getting the lands. I can sympathize. We have 2 triggers. Tamiyo's Journal will get a clue, and Mechanized Production will get a Felwar Stone. So that seems pretty good. Get a little extra card draw off if we don't get a land. Please give us a land deck. We got a land! Hallelujah. I don't want them to take my Mere Battlesphere. Skull Clamp would also be really bad, and I don't want them to take anything really. Let me just put it that way. Let's go ahead and play the island. And then, since the enchantment's not, the enchantment's not working, let's just go ahead and play our Mere Battlesphere and call that a day. Get some defenses down. Impact Tremors is going to trigger a bunch too, helping us get rid of the Zedruu player. Plus, now we can block the Oni. Oh, we have Counter Magic. Is it Counter Magic? It's Counter Magic. Damn it! Arcane Denial, son of a pony. Ugh, so not cool. Okay. Sad face. Alright, yep, at least we'll get some cards off of it, I guess, but that really sucks. Alright, there's the Arcane Denial triggers. We'll draw 2 cards. It is a May trigger, so always make sure you say yes on Magic Online. I don't know when you'd ever say no. I guess maybe if Nikasaur is about to kill you? But that's the only time I can think of. We get a Mountain and a Rhystic Study. Crap, they could take our Rhystic Study. That's not good. Oh, man. At least they can't take our land, but... Bad times. Bad times indeed. Ramirez's turn, though. Let's go ahead and see what they do with it. Maybe bounce their Oni back to hand would be great, but they'd have to somehow do it with a colorless source. I'm thinking, like, Crystal Shard is the only thing I can think of? Ooh, Spark Double coming down for them. So they'll get a Baleful Strix or another Jace, the Architect of Thought. Let's see what happens with that. It's a Jace. So yeah, and they're getting pretty close to Ultimate too. I think that's, what, 8? Yeah, -8. So 1 or 2 more turns, and they'll have 1 or 2 more Ultimates to throw off there. Oh, so the new Jace is going to -2, and they'll get to reveal the top 3, and opponent will pick one, and they get to do stuff with that. Ooh, land block. Good thing they got out of the way. I didn't see which opponent got to choose, but I think they took the Temple of the False God. I'm not entirely sure. Yep, Temple of the False God came into play, so they did keep it. That works out for them, I suppose. 5 cards in hand for them currently during this turn. So, what are they going to do with it, if anything? I mean, there was Psycho Rift mana, but that won't really do too much, I don't think. It would destroy our mana base, though. So that is something I need to worry about. Ramirez DePietro coming down for that player. I think I said it right this time. I've been practicing in my head. So, I wonder what the card does for the deck besides maybe give colors? Or maybe it's just on theme for stealing stuff because it's a pirate. Ramirez does not attack. They leave their bird back for defense, I suppose, although they only can just get through all of their defenses to those Planeswalkers, which I'm kind of hoping it does. But honestly, that Jace isn't the best. And that means that stealing spells will be better. And we have some card draw I really want to keep in my hand. Eye of the Storm. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell exiled, then that player copies each instant sorcery spell exiled with Eye of the Storm. For each copy, that player may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. Oh boy. So, Hate Mirage is going to get super interesting. Yeah, that's chaos right there. Basalt Monolith is being untapped for some more mana. Alright, Zedruu at combat. Please don't come at us. Please don't come at us. Alright, Oni off into the Ramirez player. Looks like the player proper. Yep, not a Planeswalker. That's fine with me for the most part. I don't want my stuff stolen, but just having that Oni out with a Zedruu in control of it just doesn't give me any warm and fuzzy feelings. Silent Blade Oni triggers. Let's see what they get with it. I don't think it says reveal, does it? Let's see. No, it does not. You just get to cast it. So at least it doesn't like get to sit there. You just get to pick and cast immediately. So you don't just hold on to it like Gaunty per se. Spell Twine. Ugh. Okay. So exile target instant sorcery card. Hey, I was reading that. How rude. Anyway, exile target instant sorcery card from your graveyard and target instant sorcery card from your opponent's graveyard. Copy those cards, cast the copies. I'm reading here. Cast the copies if able without paying the mana cost. Exile Spell Twine. So we have Enlightened Tutor, and I don't think we have anything else. Is anything else being targeted? Nope, I don't think so. I think it's just the one time. But it is now an Eye of the Storm, so that is interesting. Alright, Zedruu went and got Rhystic Stay to the top of the library with the Enlightened Tutor. Maybe they won't need ours now? Card draw's not a thing, right? Over to the partner player's turn. Let's see if they play anything this turn. They're, you know, they haven't dropped a land in a while. They're just straight to combat again. So, second main. Nope, they just skipped through the whole turn again. 6 cards in hand for them. Comes to our turn, let's go ahead and stack some triggers. Clue and a Felwar Stone into play. We get Swiftwater Cliffs. Don't want to really do the tapped land right now, do I? I don't think so. We have 8 mana, get Brudiclad down. And Skull Clamp, perhaps? So, I don't know. Actually, let's do Rhystic Study and Brudiclad. That seems like a plan. So let's go ahead and do that. That way get some more stuff down. It'll all be fun. Brudiclad Telchor engineered to the battlefield. Impact Tremors will trigger. And then let's go ahead and play the Rhystic Study. Hopefully we won't run into any, like, board wipes. That would be bad. Blasphemous Act probably being the worst. They can't cast Mizizi Mortars or Cyclonic Rift for the overload cost because it's without paying. So we are protected from those for the most part. We will not choose to copy anything right now. Impact Tremors triggers again. We'll deal another damage. That's fine with me. And we'll pass it off to our opponents. Ramirez's turn. 5 cards in hand for them. They're at 28 life. They do still have the 2 Jaces. One's about to be able to get ultimate on the next turn. Really depends what they're going to do with it. They do have a lot of mana, so I wonder if they'll do anything with that. Again, hopefully not a Psych Rift, because that will be very detrimental to our mana base at the moment. Because we will lose the enchantment, replay Felwar Stone, then we're at 6 mana instead of like the 9 or 10 where you're at right now. That would be super bad. Activating the Clone Jace again for -2. Ooh, we get to choose. Man, they have a lot of lands in this deck. Nice art, though. I do like the art. So, okay, I guess it worked. Let's just do that. They can have double blue or black. They get to choose. Not much choice, though. They chose the island into play. Vidalcan Shackles. Didn't we already have a problem with this somewhere? I mean, it was Helm of Obedience, but still. Oh, so much stealing. Jace is getting +1. They're going to be able to ultimate next turn. That's never the best. Ramirez on the attack with Ramirez into the Zedruu player. Yeah, I can still live with that. Still worrying about the Silent Blade only with the protection from all colors, though. Not my favorite. Not even close. Damage is good. They take 4 commander down to 21. No triggered abilities, though. Control magic. Where's it going? Ah, Brudiclad. Well, that sucks. I guess we're going to have to use Hate Mirage if the Zedruu player doesn't cast it to get Brudiclad back. And then I was thinking, as long as somebody plays something big, we could probably knock out Ramirez or Zedruu. But it's looking enticing, you know, just bad. I would want to do the Oni, but it has protection from all colors, so I can't target it either. They do pay for the study trigger, which is also a sadness. We did not get any extra card draw. They're stealing all of my shinies. The script would be very upset. Alright, we're back over to Zedruu. Let's see what they do. They have a lot of mana, 4 cards in hand after the draw. We know they have Heuristic Study, and then we also know that with this Eye of the Storm, when we cast the Hate Mirage, we'll get to copy each instant sorcery card exiled with Eye of the Storm. So, actually, hold on. Whenever a player casts an instant sorcery card exiled, then that player copies it. Yeah, so we will get a copy of anything behind it, which right now is just Spell Twine. I still don't think there's any copies of anything. I mean, Arcane Denial, I guess? Thieves Auction. So this Zedruu is definitely playing Chaos. That is unfortunate. Not my favorite archetype, unfortunately. Heuristic Study will trigger. Let's see if they pay for it. Other than that, Thieves Auction for red. Exile all non-token permanents. Starting with you, each player chooses one of the exiled cards and puts it onto the battlefield tapped under their control. Repeat this process until all cards exiled this way have been chosen. This might take a while. They do pay for the Heuristic Study trigger. That's a sad phase. Alright, so Thieves Auction. We haven't even gotten to the auction yet, but it gets exiled under Eye of the Storm, which means I don't think any of us want to cast instants or sorceries right now. Man, that hurts so much. Alright, they pay the one for the first Heuristic Study trigger and the second Heuristic Study trigger. And will they pay one for the third Heuristic Study trigger? Still not to the auction yet. They do pay for it. Alright, again, Spell Twine will go. There is Destroy All the Creatures, so that's cool, I guess. And Arcane Denial, so maybe they're going to counter their own spell of some kind. Share the Sky to the stack. We get a trigger. Arcane Denial, was it targeting Share the Sky, huh? Okay, so I guess they're just going to put it back. That means the partner player will get to draw 2 cards, so that's not terrible. Heuristic Study triggers being paid for. Still not at the Thieves Auction yet. Okay, finally down to the Thieves Auction. Oh, cool. We gotta keep our Felwar Stones. That's nice. So now we get to pick from a stack. So I'll just reread it. Exile all non-token permanents starting with you. Each player chooses one of them of the exiled cards. Puts it on the battlefield tapped under their control. Repeat this process until all cards exiled this way have been chosen. That's even the lands. Yeah, again, this will probably take forever. Okay, now, seriously. Fast forward through all of it. Try to watch on the screen, but, yeah, this might take a while. Alright, we're finally all done. Misplays on my part. I thought Spectral Ward would protect Brudiclad, but it got stolen by controlled magic. Also, I needed somebody to take the Silent Blade only, not us, and I totally screwed that up. Other than that, here's how the board state looks. We're going to resolve all the triggers from the enchantment that don't seem to matter. I took a number of lands from Zedruu. I took his Basalt Monolith as well, or their Basalt Monolith. Took back my Tamiyo's Journal. That way I can tutor out something like Chaos Warp to get rid of some enchantments. Other than that, let's see. They're taking... Ooh, oh wait, things are working now. With the confusion in the ranks, what's happening? So far it looks like they're taking Rhystic Study, and they're going to be taking the Mechanized Production under their control. They took our Mechanized Production, the Ramirez player. They also took the Field Blower Post from Zedruu. They took a Soul Ring from the Zedruu. I really wanted this back. That was unfortunate. And then when they took our Brudiclad, so I'm still waiting for them, other players to play something where I can make a token of it, make an army of tokens, and kill the Zedruu player. Don't know how that's going to work out now. Alright, looks like we're finished stacking out. Let's go ahead and see how this stuff does. Ramirez going to draw a card. Aether Hub going to give an energy counter to the partner player. They got their land back. Legion Landing going to give a token to them as well. They got that back. Impact Tremors is going to trigger. Unfortunately, that was taken by Zedruu. So we're going to be taking one now. And, oh, here's some other stuff happening. Porphyros going to deal 2 to all of our opponents from the partner player. Man, everything is so just jam-packed and crazy now. And then we have a bunch of confusion in the rank things. So I don't know quite what's happening. It looks like it's working this time. They can take the Oni, that's fine. They'll actually work into our hands pretty well. Yes, take the Oni, so I may kill. Alright, so Mechanized Production ends up not enchanting anything, goes back to our graveyard, I suppose. So now that the card seems to be working and isn't bugged anymore, we're going to have to be just... I don't even know how we're going to get past that with our tokens. They'll come into play, and we'll have to trade them with somebody. So it's not the best. Not the best at all. Architect of Thought now under Zedruu's control, both of them. Until next turn, whenever a creature attacks, gets -1/-0 till end of turn. Architect of Thought, the other one being activated. They'll reveal the top 3, choose an opponent, and they'll get to pick a pile from the chosen cards that opponent makes. Some to the hand, some to the bottom. Beginning of combat, our Brudiclad will trigger. The beautiful, the true, the forced against its will to make little baby mirrors over there. Confusion in the ranks triggers again. Let's see if it's actually going to do something. Nope, didn't do anything that time, so I guess it's only when it comes down the first time. I don't really know what's happening with that. Alright, that was the end of Zedruu's turn. Arcane Denial, after all this time, finally going to trigger for the partner player and the Zedruu player. Does anyone else's brain hurt? Mine kinda hurts. We have Awakening Zone coming down for the partner player. Rhystic Study will trigger. Our beautiful Rhystic Study over in the trader's hands of Zedruu. The partner player does pay 1 for the Rhystic Study not to draw them a card. I don't know about that. Zedruu already has 7 cards in hand. If our plan works, I think we can kill them. But we will only have 5 attackers. They should be more or less defenseless, so we use the Oni to do it. And I don't know if we'd actually get to steal any of their spells, considering they'd be dead. Probably not. That's my feeling on it. But yeah, I want them out of the game. Mog War Marshal also coming down, so still a tokeny deck. That means we'll also be taking 4 more damage, which is not the best. Oh yeah, I should probably increase the little window box here now that the billion triggers are gone otherwise. Spore Frog coming down for them. Crap. Man, every time I formulate a plan, there's some foil to it. Can't get a break. Well, that's magic for you. Sometimes you just can't get those breaks. We're going to try anyway. As long as we swing a bunch of stuff at Zedruu, I don't think there'll be a problem. But Chaos Warp should be interesting. We did take control of the Eye of the Storm, so it will get exiled, and then people are going to be able to copy it and do other things. So, very, very interesting indeed. Alright, that's the end for the partner player. We get a trigger, we get a clue. I hope we get a clue, as it were. Alright, so Confusion in the Ranks will trigger. It'll probably do nothing. It does nothing. We draw a land. Let's go ahead and play the land in the first main, and then we will sacrifice our 3 clues to search the library for any card. Because I want Chaos Warp. Well, do we want Chaos Warp? We could just bounce the enchantment with the Psych Rift, and that would free us up on 1 mana. So that wouldn't be terrible, and then we just get to keep Brudiclad, or... Yeah, let's use Psych Rift. I don't want any surprise blockers. And then we will go ahead and use the Psych Rift. Oops, hold on. Gotta tap this all right now. We'll go ahead and use the Psych Rift. They can't overload it if they cast it otherwise, so that should be fine. Get rid of the enchantment there that's taking control of our Brudiclad. I have the Storm Will trigger. We will pay the 1 for the Heuristic State trigger. That should be ours. The Sadness. Alright, and we get a copy. Okay. Let's go ahead and retarget it again. It's such a roundabout thing to do. It really is. We'll go ahead and pay the 1 for Heuristic Study again. We do need the 4 mana for the Hate Mirage, and that's about it, really. Hate Mirage, go. What do we want to pick? Well, we definitely want the Oni, that's for sure, and I guess the Strix, because then at least we get to draw a card. So let's go ahead and do that. We will not pay the extra for the Heuristic Study this time. Hate Mirage will get exiled. We'll get a copy of the bounce spell for Cyclonic Rift. All kinds of things will be happening all the time. This game is so flippin' chaotic. Again, does anyone brains hurt? Anybody? Alright, let's Hate Mirage. Pick the same targets again. Cyclonic Rift. We will bounce. I don't know. I think I kind of want to get rid of Pulveros at the moment. No, let's get rid of Heuristic Study. Bounce it back to our hand. That seems pretty good. Heuristic Study will trigger a bunch. Again, we're not paying for it because we need to be able to attack with those Felwar Stones. To the Psych Rift. No responses. Heuristic Study back to our hand. To Hate Mirage. Will it resolve? Hate Mirage resolves. Yay! Impact Tremors will do some things. Oh, hey, we got our Impact Tremors back. How did that happen? I'm not even sure. Alright. So yeah, that's good. That works for me. And we'll get to draw a card on top of it. Very nice. Stack those out. Let's see what happens. Alright, let's go combat and hope the partner player doesn't randomly Spore Frog our attack. We get a mirror. We'll pick the Silent Blade Oni. All of our creatures, our tokens, become the Silent Blade Oni. Impact Tremors triggers. Let's go combat. Make sure we pick everyone except the person with the Spore Frog. And hopefully there's not going to be any politics involved with that either. So, just in case. I just really hope this goes through. I really want these guys to not be there anymore. Sorry. That sounded pretty bad, but my brain. Okay, so we have a billion T triggers. So our guys will get -2, -0 until end of turn, or at least I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to work out. So let's go ahead and yield to the trigger till end of turn. And then yield to the trigger till end of turn. Hello? Hello? Okay, I guess I have to click through them first. Alright, now we can yield to the trigger. And hopefully we still have enough to kill these guys. I'm glad I attacked with all of just everything. Did I not yield again? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can get through all the defenses, any kind of magics, any kind of whatever, and take our opponents down. One mirror to the intercept of one of the Oni. We won't get any spells, but we do get rid of 2 opponents. I don't know if we'll ever be able to get past the partner player. They played extra conservatively this game, and they still have Pulveros. And then we'd have to wait 3 turns just to get to a Chaos Warp for it, so that's problematic. Come on, come on. Oh, the suspense. No Spore Frog action. Thanks. So good. Okay, so we have a number of things on the stack. Let's go ahead and go through those. Zedruu down. We lose control of the Eye and a bunch of their lands, but you know what? I'll take it. The partner player in a very good position now. Alright, so let's see. Can we cast anything from their hand? No, it doesn't look like it. Cast a spell from among those. So, I don't know what's happening. Okay, so let's see. We have Thassa, which is a blink command, blink kind of thing. Shakashima the Imposter could be really good. So, double Brudiclad. Control magic, although Pulveros is not yet a thing. So let's go ahead and play Thassa. If our opponent quits, we lose all this stuff, so it's not the best ever. So that could be really, really bad. Let's go Shakashima the Imposter. Could be good. I guess we'll pick Brudiclad because it won't be a legendary creature with the same name, so that could be good. Alright, let's go through the other triggers. Nothing done there. Our opponent's gone. Control magic really doesn't do anything, so let's go with Conjurer's Closet. I'd take Pulveros if I could, but It's not a creature yet. That should be all we can steal from our opponent who's still alive. And we're completely vulnerable to anything else now. Hopefully the partner player doesn't randomly spit out a bunch of tokens. Let's pass it off and hope for the best. End step will come, Thassa will trigger, and we get to bounce something. Hate Mirage will also get rid of the tokens we created. We also get to bounce something with the Conjurer's Closet, so that's nice-ish, I guess. Let's go ahead and bounce our commander, or blink our commander, rather, and then we'll use Thassa to... where's the original Oni? I don't know if I want to give that back. Let's blink the Shakashima. Alright, and all that resolves. My brain is kind of fried, if I'm honest with you guys. Let's just pass it off, hope we survive, and hopefully get in at the partner player. They will have 5 cards in hand after the draw. They are at 29 life still. Over here we still have Vidalcan Shackles, so they drop an island, take one of our Brudiclads. That'd be bad. They could also just quit the game and take half our field with them, so that's also problematic. Ramirez's turn, 2 combat after a land drop. I doubt they'll do anything, but they might. My main concern right now is Pulveros, and getting to a Chaos Warp is going to be ridiculously hard now. We'd have to wait 3 more of our turns, which gives them 4 turns, which is not the best. To the second main phase for Ramirez, no attacks. That seems pretty legit with a Death Touch blocker. At the end step, we have an activation. Mogwar Marshal being sacked to the high market. The partner player will gain 1 life, and they'll get a Mog token. A creature token that is a goblin, more specifically, and we'll each take 2 from Pulveros. That means Ramirez is going to die. We're going to lose half our field, unfortunate for us. But what can you do? Oh, I guess that's preemptive. I'm sorry, Ramirez. So Vidalcan Shackles, they're going to take Spore Frog with the Shackles. Okay. So I wonder if that'll become exiled now that it switched control. I've always been so weird on those effects. Alright, so they're going to sacrifice the Spore Frog. Cool. So a little bit of interplay politics there. They were discussing in chat, trying to make a deal with each other. But since Ramirez is just going to die, they forced the hand of the Spore Frog. So that's interesting. Ramirez down to a Pulveros trigger. Okay, so it's just between us and the partner player, who hasn't really actually done much this game, but Pulveros alone is scary. To their turn, a Waking Zone triggers. They'll get an Eldrazi. Pulveros will trigger again. 5 cards in hand. First main phase, let's see what they do with it. Skull Clamp coming down. Alright, that'll give them some decent card draw. I should know, I have one. We didn't get to use it this game, ironically enough. They sacrifice the Eldrazi, equip the Skull Clamp to one of their Goblin tokens, 6 cards in hand now. Let's see what they have. They have a lot of colorless mana, so I'm not too worried about it, but you never know. Skull Clamp onto a Goblin, they draw some more cards. Blast Zone into play. Our tokens are safe from that, so that is not a problem. Skull Clamp to the Vampire, they're going to draw more cards, they'll be to 9. Comes to our turn, upkeep trigger, we get a Clue token. So I was just thinking, the last time... Ooh, we have a response, hold on. Oh, no, I guess they're just tapping down mana? I'll have to wait and see here. Yeah, they just tapped down mana, saying they're not going to do anything, I suppose. We get Temple of Epiphany, let's go ahead and play it, no reason not to. See if there's any lands on top. Yep, we'll keep that on top just in case. Alright, let's see. How much mana do we have currently? We have 4. Jeez, we only have 4. Wow. Stealing all the other person's lands may have been not the best idea. Let's go ahead and play Joyra. That way we have some card drawn backup, and let's go to attacks. Not much to do about anything. We'll make a new Shiny Mirror. We will copy a token we control, make it an Oni, and we'll swing with everything. Swing all the Oni. It's a Ninja Clan if I ever saw one. And we win the game. Good game to our opponents, especially for sticking out through all that chaos. There was even a conversation in chat where people were just like, are you sure we can't quit? Because that was one of the things the host wanted us to kind of promise was, don't quit the game, don't concede. I'm not going to say who the host was. It wasn't us, though. All right. Man, my head. But all right, let's go and review the deck. All right, so here's the deck. Made some changes. When I was going through it earlier, I realized I only had 3 sources of card draw. So I did add Joyra, Weatherlight Captain, and I added Biden of Thassa because we do make a lot of Thopters usually, and they have flying, so they're a little bit evasive. Other than that, we do have Idol of Oblivion, which is good if we're making tokens, and Sad Robot and Mind Stone if we need some like one-time draw. So not the best, but we needed some more, so I added it. Again, we saw Profros this game. I don't want to add it to this deck. Is it a great include? Absolutely. Don't necessarily want to add to the deck. It keeps the price down. It keeps it more casual. Somebody sees Profros and somebody's going to be gunning for you if they can. The tutor for that Cyclonic Rift, even just casting it for the 2 was really clutch in this game, especially after all the chaos. Got our commander back, enabled us to do all the Oni stuff. It was fantastic. Definitely fantastic. Again, Hate Mirage being an MVP, it definitely helps if you can use your opponent's advantages against them. So I just love that card. I had some skepticism going into this series about Hate Mirage, but definitely use it. I mean, are you going to always get it to work? No. And you should make your own tokens when you can. But just having that available, I think we've had every game in the series so far, and just, I don't know. But it's fantastic. I definitely recommend it. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you saw any cards that you wanted in this game that you want to purchase for yourself, sealed product or sleeves for protecting your cards, unless you're going to buy Chaos cards, please don't do that to your friends. Go ahead and consider using the TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. Helps out the channel, doesn't cost you anything extra, and I'd appreciate it, and it helps us build up the channel, helps me keep going, and I can buy new cards, make better decks, all that jazz. Anyway, good game to our opponents again. I need to go lie down. That was a headache-inducing experience, and I'll see you for the next series when we start covering Zendikar Rising Commanders. Thank you for coming to Durdle with us today. Hit that subscribe button and go ahead and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date with our latest videos. Please leave a like and share the video with somebody who you might think is interested. We also post links to our videos on Facebook and Twitter at DurdleMTG. If those are the forums you choose to use, please check this out there. Until we can Durdle with some magic again, see you around.